Folks, this is what happens when the tyrants keep passing their damn unconstitutional incremental gun control. This is how they make an example of you for exercising your constitutional rights without asking the government for approval when it suits their needs. A bunch of ticky-tack add-on laws. Here's a perfect example of why we need to fight every single day. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Guns and Gadgets. Today, we have a gripping and ultimately controversial story out of Boston. A decorated firefighter now facing over 40 criminal charges, including serious firearms and drug-related allegations. And before we jump in, a quick shout out to today's sponsor, the Sonoran Desert Institute, offering online programs in gunsmithing and more. More on that later, so stick around. All right, here's what's happening. The Boston Fire Lieutenant Joshua Thompson, who's 38 years old, has been arrested and now faces more than 40 criminal charges, including a host of unconstitutional gun law violations. And I'm reporting on those illegal infringements, the anti-gun BS that these blue states put in. I do not condone any other acts of violence. I do not condone domestic violence, but what I am here to tell you is that sometimes restraining orders, especially in Massachusetts, can be obtained on questionable grounds. And I'm not saying that's what happened here, but just keep that in mind. Now, on Monday, August 18th, Thompson's wife contacted authorities to obtain a restraining order on her husband, alleging that he had blown a leaf blower in her face and forced her to flush her wedding ring down the toilet. And was that assault and battery by means of accelerated wind? Now, Thompson had previously been accused of slashing his own tires while his kids were in the car and pulling the wheel of the car while his wife was driving. He's also been accused of sending threatening texts to his wife and being physically violent with her, according to police reports. So I don't condone any of that BS, nor do I condone the unconstitutional gun laws he's being jammed up with just because it's Massachusetts and it's supposed to be accepted, even though it's unconstitutional. Guys, the authorities served Thompson with a restraining order the next day after his wife came, and along with that came a search warrant. Now, upon serving the search warrant at his Milton, Massachusetts home, investigators found, their words not mine, 5 assault-style rifles, 5 handguns, some of them unregistered in Massachusetts, approximately 2,000 rounds of ammunition, rookie, 76 magazines, 4 ballistic vests, and tourniquets, including one reportedly issued by his own fire department. Don't even try to criminalize tourniquets. Jeez. Now, he also had in his basement an area configured as a shooting range spanning 200 feet. It was pretty cool. It was here's a picture of it. It's just a tube of concrete, and he had his own range in his own home. Now, why is he in a jam, you may ask? Well, because Massachusetts has a bunch of unconstitutional gun laws on the books and a bunch of, we'll just say, tyrants who run the state, who are more than happy to make an example of somebody who happens to love the Second Amendment. Oh, and police also use these unconstitutional laws to jam people up selectively. Now, the charges here include possession of a large capacity firearm. Yeah. Every gun can take large capacity magazines. Improper storage of a large capacity firearm, violation of an order to surrender weapons, drug trafficking, specifically methamphetamine, stemming from a 100. They found 100 Adderall pills that his lawyer says he has a prescription for. And he's got some other related counts. Now, Thompson is a decorated U.S. Army and U.S. Navy veteran who was lauded for bravery during a deadly fire in Boston's North End back in 2017. Now, his attorney insists that Thompson has no history of violence and was a dedicated first responder. And he argues that Thompson is mentally ill and that he needs treatment, not jail time. Now, his father similarly vouched that his son is not dangerous. A detective, however, in his creative writing abilities, highlighted how firearms, vests, and tourniquets were strategically placed at multiple entry points, signaling possible preparation for violent use rather than self-defense. What an ass clown. Having a tool to defend yourself where people are going to try to enter your castle, as well as means to maybe stop yourself from bleeding out or someone else from bleeding out should you have to employ a means to defend yourself or others. That's not a preparation for violent use. That's actually preparation for being smart. Oh, cops. Some of the dumbest people on the planet sometimes. Now, who has the right to tell you where and how you can keep and bear arms in your own home? Nobody. That's who. Not even that cop in Milton. Now, the case here underscores the tension between protective orders and due process. What protections should apply and when? Now, it also raises tough questions about mental health, PTSD, addiction, anxiety, and how those interact and intersect with weapon possession. Now, the public relies on firefighters for safety, not to see them tied to felony gun charges. But I submit to you that all of those gun laws he was jammed up with are not only illegal, yet unconstitutional, and don't pass the Bruin standard. Try me, Massachusetts. I bet you fail. Now, the fallout here could have broader trust implications. More importantly, he's facing a ton of legal challenges due to him exercising his right to keep and bear arms in his own home. Even if he blew a leaf blower in his wife's face during an argument, he should not lose his constitutional rights. This is weak sauce enforcement of illegal and unconstitutional laws by tyrants in Massachusetts. Now, the next court date is set for September 23rd of 2025, and I'll be watching how the case evolves. I want to also keep you updated if new evidence surfaces or if there's a shift in some legal strategic or chicanery or even a public statement that comes out. Because this case is, you would think, was primed to destroy these unconstitutional gun laws, but Massachusetts will make it look like he needs to be put away forever because, Lord forbid, he had a gun in his own home. Imagine that. And vests and tourniquets and some rookie numbers of magazines and ammo. But now let's take a moment here to thank today's sponsor, the Sonoran Desert Institute. Guys, SDI is an online educational institution specializing in gunsmith skills and allied fields. And it's ideal for those who are looking to get started in the trade from their own home. If you're curious about firearm mechanics or care, whether for hobby or future career endeavors, SDI offers structured foundational casework in gunsmithing. SDI provides accessible online learning, and many have used it as a stepping stone in their careers. If you're interested, head on over to sdi.edu/GNG to learn more. Links are down below and in the pinned comment. So that's the full breakdown here on the Boston firefighter case, charged with more than 40 offenses, accused of weapon hoarding and more, and facing serious legal consequences. What do you think? Should restraining orders carry such heavy consequences for failure to surrender weapons? I mean, you are not found guilty of a damn thing, so why should you lose your rights? Especially when, and I will say this again, may not be this case here, but I have witnessed many people obtain obtain restraining orders, sometimes just to jam up their significant other and their firearms and their Second Amendment. So drop your thoughts and your comments down below. Let's talk this out. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so that you don't miss the next update, guys and gals. And I'll see you next time. Until then, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun, and more importantly, stay free, America. Take care. See you on the next one.